Well, Nebraska farmers should care about exports because we're just a small piece of the puzzle. You know, we're third in corn production here, but overall, 20% of the corn crop in the United States is exported. Without that export market, we would have an overabundance of corn and prices would slump considerably.
Everybody knows that last bushel is the one that determines the price of grain. Total demand is what creates that market for Nebraska corn, and certainly the export market is a big part of that.
Nebraska corn farmers are helping create export markets for their product through their checkoff support of the U.S. Grains Council. With 10 offices around the world and additional representatives in key markets, the U.S. Grains Council builds demand for corn co-products, distillers' grains, and ethanol across the globe. The U.S. Grains Council also promotes sorghum and barley exports. The Council works in a variety of ways: engagement in trade policy, building relationships with grain buyers, and even helping countries improve their livestock production, which builds demand for feed grains and co-products. One example is an innovative new program in Tanzania.
We're working with poultry growers. We've just formed a Poultry Growers Association. We're teaching them the basics of utilizing corn, sampling and testing feedstuffs to make sure that they get their rations right. This is just really basic stuff, the very beginning of developing a market.
Supporting livestock development internationally is also a council strategy to build demand for distillers' grains.
Yeah, Nebraska farmer needs to care about those DDG exports because, again, it enhances profitability of ethanol operations, ethanol producers, which again creates that market for ethanol in Nebraska, corn for ethanol in Nebraska.
Now the Council is formulating its strategy for promoting ethanol exports.
It's been a pretty well thought out strategic approach. We're going to drill down on those key markets like Japan, like China, like Peru, places where we see demand and we can influence that demand, expand the sales of ethanol from the United States, as well as continuing market assessment in places like India, places like United Arab Emirates of all places, Canada, Mexico. There's a lot of work to be done.
Checkoff dollars from Nebraska, not just corn but other Nebraska commodity groups, are combined with support from other states, agribusiness partners, and other export advocates. These dollars help the Council qualify for matching funds from the federal government that multiply the impact of checkoff dollars.
It's the support from the Nebraska corn farmer through their checkoff that allows us to qualify for matching funding from the U.S. Department of Agriculture through the Foreign Market Development Program and the Market Access Program that allows us to have this global presence. It's a great public-private partnership, and the support of Nebraska corn farmers is a crucial building block of that whole partnership.
Through international missions, the U.S. Grains Council takes corn farmers to meet their global customers face to face. These missions have a direct and powerful impact in a number of ways.
One is you like to buy from someone you know. That principle holds true all around the world. Second, and I know the power of having a farmer travel thousands of miles, coming there to meet with the customers, that makes an impact with those customers. You've traveled 6,000 miles to come meet with me, to meet with my producer that's supplying me corn for my Japanese feed mill. It makes a very strong statement, you know, that you're there and you care about that market. That's what producers traveling abroad, that's what it does.
The U.S. Grains Council also brings customers to Nebraska farms to see the quality of Nebraska corn firsthand.
It's those relationships. You know, I've hosted a lot of trade teams out at the farm as they come through, and the U.S. Grains Council has supported those trade teams coming through. And you actually build relationships even with those trade teams as they come through and look at the crop through the growing season.
Most Nebraska corn is used within the state or within the United States. But as Nebraska and other states grow more and more corn, and as international competition heats up, it is critical that we amplify our efforts to ensure a place for U.S. corn and its co-products in a growing global market.
It's not something that Iowa's going to do by themselves or Illinois is going to do by themselves, but together, through the U.S. Grains Council, we can make a difference. All these things we do to develop these markets help build demand for U.S. corn.